डिस्काउंट दोगे, पे बैंक दोगे, सब देके उसके बाद भी आपको गाड़ी सुनने का इज इट वर्थ इट? हम लोग
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would request everyone to kindly take your seat, please. We are going to start this Indian Insurance Industry Road Ahead Seminar 2016. Before we start the program, I would like to introduce eminent speakers. We have very eminent our Mr. K. Sanat Kumar, Chairman and Managing Director of National Insurance Company Limited, took over charge recently at Kolkata. He has more than 37 years of experience in general insurance industry. He has worked in all areas and had driven IT systems and business engineering of insurance companies. He also has managed distribution channels and has set up micro-insurance networks. He has also served in the boards of United Insurance Company Limited, New India Insurance Company Limited, General Insurance Company Limited, GIC Housing Finance, Health India, DPL Limited, and so on. Till recently, he was acting CMD of GIC. He also served in the governing board of National Insurance Academy and the Academic Council of Insurance of India. We have our Mr. Munish Sharma, is the Managing Director and CEO of Future General Life Insurance since January 2014. Mr. Sharma has nearly 2 decades of experience in the financial services sector with extensive knowledge in product distribution, portfolio and balance sheet management together.
Others can't even think of.
In its quest to provide world-class quality service to its customers, National Insurance Company has revolutionized the concept of service delivery, specifically in the motor insurance segment. National Insurance pioneered the concept of auto tie-ups and entered into strategic alliances with India's largest automobile majors and auto finance companies. Customers enjoy hassle-free service, both in terms of policy delivery and claim settlement on cashless basis. Undoubtedly, a first-of-its-kind service level, thereby raising the bar for the industry.
Thank you, Arnold. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to our annual offering on insurance industry. This is a program which we have been doing for, I think, close to a decade now. And thanks to the immense support and the well-wishes from the insurance fraternity and the finance fraternity, and of course our members, and you all delegates here today, that we could have been able to take this forward for so many years without interruption. Before I invite our distinguished guests and speakers to the dais, may I commence by thanking not only you all, but our conference partner, National Insurance Company Limited, our gold sponsors, Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance Company Limited and Future General Life Insurance Company Limited, for reposing their faith on us, supporting us, being with us, and without whose support we wouldn't have been able to bring to you this conclave today. Without further delay, may I request the President Designate of the Chamber, Mr. Shrutanu Ghosh, to please escort the speakers for the inaugural session to the dais, please. Mr. K. Sanat Kumar, Chairman and MD, National Insurance Company Limited, our chief guest, and our guests of honor, Mr. Munish Sharda, MD and CEO of Future General Life Insurance Company Limited, and Mr. Kailash Mittal, Director and Actual Practice Leader, KPMG India. Thanks to them that we could commence this year's program on such a grand scale. We will have with us in the next sessions Mr. U.S. Roy, Director, India First Life Insurance Company Limited, former Deputy Managing Director, SBI, former MD, SBI Life, Mr. Khalid Ahmed, Head Product Management, PNB Met Life Insurance Company Limited, Mr. Parthanil Ghosh, Chief Marketing Officer, L&G Insurance Company Limited, and Mr. KVR Krishna, Regional Manager, United Insurance Company Limited. So, without further ado, may I request the President Designate of the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Shrutanu Ghosh, to please deliver the formal address of welcome.
Thank you, Shubhadeep. Mr. K. Sanat Kumar, Chairman, Managing Director, National Insurance Company Limited. Mr. Munish Sharda, Managing Director and CEO, Future Generali Life Insurance Company Limited. Mr. Kailash Mittal, Director, KPMG India. Representatives from the media, invited delegates, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning, and on behalf of the Bengal Chamber, it's a singular privilege for me to welcome all of you to this program today on Indian insurance industry, the road ahead. As Shubhadeep just mentioned, this is, I think, the fourth initiative of the Chamber in this particular domain. At the outset, I must thank Mr. K. Sanat Kumar, CMD of National Insurance Company Limited, for gracing the occasion, sir, as our chief guest. We are really privileged to have you amongst us here this morning, and I'm sure your rich insights on this particular sector, this industry, would enrich all of us tremendously. We are very, very happy to have with us Mr. Munish Sharda, MD and CEO, Future Generali Life Insurance Company Limited, and Mr. Kailash Mittal of KPMG as our guests of honor. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to all our other guest speakers who will be talking to us and sharing their thoughts and experiences on this very, very important sector throughout the day's program. Ladies and gentlemen, though the number of insurance companies operating in India have certainly increased significantly, hundreds of millions of people are still have very limited awareness or access to insurance and financial services. India as a country still remains grossly underinsured in terms of insurance penetration and density. In India, life insurance is primarily sold as a tax-saving instrument rather than as a risk coverage product. There is a considerable amount of misinformation about insurance in the mind of the average Indian investor, and hence a crying need to change people's perception and outlook on insurance. Despite high growth witnessed by health insurance in PA, the motor insurance segment still continues to maintain its leading position amongst the service deliveries and in the different segments, with a 46% share in the overall industry gross direct premium in fiscal year 2015. Most general insurance companies reported significant gains on their investment books, principally on the existing equity position as well as on fresh positions. The objective of this seminar is to analyze the challenges and prospects of Indian life and non-life industry. With these very few words, I welcome all of you once again to this very important program organized by the Chamber today, and hope you will enjoy the deliberations and certainly take back with you a lot of important information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request our special guest, Mr. Kailash Mittal, to kindly deliver an address.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Morning, everyone. I've not put together any slides or any deck per se. I've just scribbled a couple of notes, and I thought I'll just have an extempo here in front of this audience. So if I were to take a step back and look at how one would want to see the insurance industry, I think the environment around us it's a clear age of disruption. And the mantra, if one were to say, would be to create and protect value. So in this age of disruption, we were just discussing amongst ourselves 10 minutes back, and we said that, look, any change that you want to inculcate, bring about in the environment takes anywhere between 4 to 5 years, even 7 years. And by the time that change is actually reflected, you realize the environment has changed completely. So you have to continuously re-engineer, you have to continuously be on top of what's happening in and around the environment if you want to create and protect the value that you generate. Since the agenda today is the road ahead, so I thought I'll list down key 3 challenges that I feel face the industry today, and would also talk about key 3 trends that are there in the market today, and then we can just leave it open to the audience here in case you have any thoughts. So if I were to look at the 3 challenges that we have today, according to me the first one, and which something that stands out, is an aging population. So if I look at the Indian demographics, it's a clear open-ended signal that look, the population is aging and there is an increased onset of nuclearization of families. As in, it's more and more people wanting to be independent or wanting to stay alone. You don't have that joint family culture that seems to be fading away. Having said that, what are the 2 key opportunities that stem out of it? One is the increased need for a pension contract or a support for an income for the rest of the life of the individual. And the second is taking care of any health related issues during that age. Right. So the challenge is the aging population, and the opportunity on hand is a pension or an annuity contract and a support in terms of health. How do you provide? Be it terminal illness, be it any health support that's there, because the government funded support is there, but end of the day, it may not be sufficient. The second challenge that I see is globalization, as we typically call it. And basically it's saying that, look, everything is getting integrated. Everything is just coming together, getting bundled into one. It is no more an era where people are 1,000 miles away and are not reachable, or your bank accounts, insurance policies, mutual funds are not on this phone. So everything is now on the smartphone. And if, God forbid, you were to lose it and it lands in anyone's hand, then basically that person has access to your bank account, your mutual fund, your insurance policy, your office accounts, to all your personal information on Facebook, LinkedIn, everything, right? So imagine the amount of security, imagine the amount of identity that is sitting on this small piece of gadget, and the extent of dependence. The opportunity is, how can one look at ensuring such gadgets? How can one look at ensuring that there is no cyber attack, there is no hacking happening into these gadgets? That's the other side. The third, I would say, is climate change, and it may come as a surprise to some of you. I foresee that as one third key challenge that's happening. And when I say climate change, I'm not just referring to global warming, but what I'm referring to is the increased extreme events that are shaping up. If we look at the last decade and I compare that to the last 5 decades, the extent to which the cyclones have hit, or you've had cloudbursts in Uttarakhand area, you've got Chennai floods, for whatever reasons, be it man-made, be it environment-driven. But end of day, the onset of such extreme events is kicking in, and hence more and more the reason for one to have an insurance. So according to me, in my personal view, these are the 3 key challenges that face us, all of us together: aging population, the globalization and integration, and the onset or the increased extreme events. So that's one part. Now if I were to look at, on the other hand, what are the trends that we are seeing around us? One definite trend that's happening till the last, and it's actually picked up pace immensely, is digitization, going digital, having everything online, be it your life insurance policy that you took out 30 years back or 40 years back, be it banking transactions, be it anything. So more and more push, more and more digitization initiatives being picked on by insurance companies, by individuals. The companies may be coming from a perspective of this being a cost-effective solution to reach out to the individual, and the individual might be latching onto it for the sheer fact of it being convenient. I can do a bank transfer on my phone. I really don't have to walk to a branch and stand in a queue. So it's sheer convenience at one end, and at the other end it's cost-effective solution. So these could be the two driving factors, but nonetheless it's a trend that's just shaking each and every industry member to the core. The second trend that's happening is increased awareness. And when I say increased awareness, it could be thanks to Google, it could be thanks to social media postings like Facebook or LinkedIn. But nonetheless, you have any problem, you can just Google for it. You can have, you want to hunt for a solution, you may just put it on Google and ask a question, and you may get an answer. So that is one of the avenues for increased awareness. But one of the things that we are noticing is, especially in the areas of insurance and medical, so as quite a few of you might be aware, a lot of state-run programs are being inculcated, be it the Rajiv Gandhi Yojana, be it Prime Minister's campaign that's doing rounds, where we want to support the BPL or the lower middle class families for any medical related issues. And we are working with one of them. And these guys are astonished at the fact that their claims are going up. The scheme started 3 years back. I'll not name the scheme, but share some facts. The scheme started 3 years back. The claims ratio at that point in time was hovering around 67 point something, so 67, 68 was the claims ratio. Last year the claims ratio is touching 88, and this year on an earned premium basis they are close to 100 or 102, 103. And this is not because the average claim sizes have gone up. It is because the number of claims have gone up. And it is primarily determined or primarily caused based on the fact that, look, people are becoming more and more aware. They are just wanting to go ahead and take care of their health conditions, and they are just triggering more and more claims. And it's as simple as that. So it's just the awareness that's going up in general, and as a consequence, resulting in an increase in claims. The third trend that's happening in the environment, according to me, and which you could say is related to the first and the second, is an increased regulatory supervision. There's an increased regulatory involvement. To the extent that, as this is something I can speak from my experience, right? If I would have a fever and I would go to my family physician 15 years back or 10 years back, would check my pulse, say, okay, just take this medicine and withdraw. Today, if I land up at that same physician, he'll say, boss, please go and get these tests done. Now, I say, but doctor, what's the matter, right? It's a similar symptom, and he says, no, I just want to be sure that there is nothing else. What if a medication I give you reacts? There's this extra sense of caution, there's this extra sense of being sure, because he doesn't want to be in the position that tomorrow I land up, bad mouthing him, or I saying that this hospital or this doctor just doesn't live up to the expectations. And that's how it is. And more so, even the regulator is looking at with each and every aspect, be it the insurance regulator, be it the banking regulator, be it any of these regulators, they're looking at it with more and more scrutiny, more and more caution, and saying that, look, can we supervise this, also can we supervise this. So that is the environment in which we are operating. This super extra cautious attitude, as you know what to call it. And coupled with all of this, big data. 5 years back, no one heard of a term called data scientists. Today, data scientists are the most sought after guys. So there are huge statistics in terms of the amount of data that we as a species have collated in the last year and 2 months is equal to the data that we collated since we were in existence. So that's the rate at which data is getting collated, being stored in data rooms, being stored in storage capacities. So that's the amount of data. Can someone make sense? Can someone go ahead and analyze it? Can someone go and try and optimize and use that every minute, every second of an individual and make it more efficient? This is the environment. So these are the thoughts I thought I'll park and share with you just to set the tone for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request our guest of honor, Mr. Munish Sharda, MD and CEO of Future Generali Life Insurance Company Limited, to kindly deliver an address.
Good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank Bengal Chambers of Commerce and Mr. Ghosh for extending a warm welcome to me. I must tell you that I have deep love for this state for many reasons. And when I first heard that Bengal Chamber of Commerce is doing something, I said I must go and we must partner with this event. Thank you, sir. Thank you for reaching out to us and giving us this opportunity. I have been in the insurance industry for about 8 years now. I joined in December 2008, and prior to that I was in another industry. So my learnings have emanated from the most turbulent and dynamic times of Indian life insurance industry ever since I came on board. And I'm very glad that I'm part of this industry. I see a lot of people saying a lot of stuff about our industry. Much of it is negative, which I don't appreciate. Because I think what this industry does for people who associate with us is unparalleled. No other industry does it does what we do to people who associate with us. So when it deeply hurts me when somebody talks negative about our industry. So when I look at the road ahead, I think there are only two things which are on my mind, and those two things are growth, and second is better value for the consumer. And I'll elaborate a bit on this. Before I come to what will drive growth and what will drive better customer value in this industry. I'll just caution a bit. I think much of my experiences and much of what I'll share will obviously relate to what I do on a day-to-day basis and what I observe in the work that I do, which is so it'll have some relevance to whatever Future Generali does for its business and its consumers. Okay, is it better? Okay. So please pardon me for if I go a bit deeper into saying what I do, but don't interpret it as somebody trying to advertise this company. I am not. Yeah. So when I look at the industry, and I was sharing with our guests here, Mr. Mittal and Mr. Ghosh and Mr. Sanat Kumar, I think and everybody talks about disruption, and I think this disruption is much required. A lot of people say changes are happening very fast, and things don't change in many industries at this pace and stuff like that. I am a believer that if something has to change and something is not good for the consumer, the best time to change it is now. Not wait for 3 years, but change it now. Take the pain and move forward. And I'm very happy that the regulator and the industry, and I meet various people in the industry, have embraced this change, transcending competition boundaries. And everybody, I don't know a single CEO, and I don't know a single company which is not changing itself towards becoming a better provider of services to its consumers. And I think that's very, very welcome. And our regulator is talking the same language. Really, a time comes in the life of an industry when it's set for a breakout. And I think we are set for a breakout. This industry is set for a breakout. Obviously, it has to ride on several variables, and anybody who makes those variables work for themselves will win in this industry as a service provider. Some statistics for you. We talk about penetration and this and that and all of this stuff. It's often repeated, under-penetrated market, and whatever. Our sum assured to GDP ratios are amongst the lowest in the world. US or so many other markets, sum assured to GDP ratios are upwards of 150, 160%. We would be at about 50, 60, 70, 70, 80% in that range. So that tells you that there's a huge opportunity in there. And that opportunity is evident from the fact that Pradhan Mantri Jan Jeevan Bima Yojana did possibly more sum assured in the industry than the industry has done together in the last so many years. Right? So there is a need. Right? People are aware, and some of these schemes are actually they act as wind beneath the wings for the industry, and they help us increase awareness, etc., etc. One statistic. Second statistic is that this industry really breaks out when the income levels also start rising, right? And if you look at the numbers, the per capita income of the country, of any country, when it goes beyond a particular level, let's say $3,000 per capita income, which is 1.8 lakh rupees monthly income, 1.8 lakh rupees annual income. The moment it breaks that barrier, it just shoots, and that's when it just starts shooting up. The penetration, the sales, and the volumes, and the coverage, etc., etc. Third is, this is my often repeated phrase. I keep telling everybody that in 5-7 years from now, there'll be 2 Kolkatas, there'll be 2 Delhis, right? There'll be 2 Munishis, and there'll be 2 Kailash Mithals, and there'll be everybody will double, right? Because the GDP of this country in the next 5 to 7 years will double, right? So it'll just change. With $2 trillion today, there'll be 2 Kolkatas for sure, right? And it's not nobody can stop it. It's coming our way. So that's why I'm very happy that the changes that had to happen have happened, and they are behind us, right? So when you look at the need for the industry to grow, this market will grow. Why will the industry grow? Industry will grow, like Mr. Vidal said, there is an increasing lifespan. So our risk actually is both on 2 sides. One is the risk of living, and second is the risk of one is risk of dying early, and second is risk of living long. These are the 2 risks that we have to cover. So that actually presents opportunities to the life insurance companies on both ends of the continuum. Then we have increasing incomes, like I just said. Then we have increased insurance awareness. I think 10 years back, when I bought my first LIC policy, actually 17 years back when I bought my first LIC policy, somebody came and sold a policy to me, and I didn't even know what I'm buying. I just bought it, and I opened the document 10 years later after paying 10 premiums, and I realized what did I bought into. Now, I'm an engineer. I'm an MBA from one of the IIMs. Okay, I was a banker. Now I bought a policy, and I didn't know what I bought. Think of that consumer, who's out there. So it puts increased onus on